wanted to join the Youth Advisory Board because I was becoming really interested in reproductive health in college, and I realized that male contraception is an area of reproductive health where there's still a ton of work to be done, both in advocacy and research. And when I came across MCI, their mission just really resonated with me, and I realized that the work that they were doing had the potential to make a really significant impact on a lot of people, and especially young people. So that's what motivated me to get involved.
I joined the YAB specifically after getting connected with Heather, the executive director for the MCI. And at that time, I was doing my own behavioral research on current contraceptive opinions with the brands that were currently on the market for a lot of college-aged women. And so while I was doing that research, I was able to get connected to a lot of pioneers in the male contraceptive field. Heather introduced me to the YAB, and then I was really excited to join because I wanted to be surrounded by other students who also had the same interest as me.
I joined the Youth Advisory Board because I feel like it's important for young people to mobilize together to enforce change in the causes that are important to them, and for women to be able to share the reproductive burden that they have with contraception with men through the use of novel contraceptive devices would be really important in achieving the reproductive health goals of everyone involved.
I joined the YVC because I want to work in sexual and reproductive health, and I feel like it would be an amazing learning opportunity to learn from my peers.
I joined the YAB because I was looking for some way to channel my frustrations with the currently available contraceptive methods for both men and women, and coming to university, I'd spoken to a lot of my peers and felt like it was a universal issue that people were feeling unsatisfied with what was currently available, given that there's very limited options for women that are non-hormonal and practically no options available for men.
Prior to joining Youth Advisory Board, Youth Volunteer Committee, I had a strong interest on matters to do with sexual and reproductive health. And joining the Youth Advisory Board, Youth Volunteer Committee, I believe will give me an upper hand in realizing my dreams and goals over the same.
I wanted to join the Youth Volunteer Committee at MCI because of my passion for exploring the intersection of gender and medicine. And I guess my background in reproductive health is actually more of a personal experience. I'm a fraternal twin. And, growing up beside my twin brother, I really describe that experience as being born with equality in my DNA. Except, starting to grow up, I became to recognize the disparity in the ways in which we were treated and taught by society to take care of our sexual health. I always felt empowered because I had access to the resources that allowed me to be in control of my reproductive health. While I saw that my brother was sometimes struggling, and he felt inferior in some of his sexual relationships because there were certain things that he felt like he couldn't or shouldn't dictate. And so it was really important for me to get involved in advocating for male contraception because I'd witnessed that insecurity that came from not being in control of your reproductive health.
The reason why I joined this amazing team is because I truly care about the Male Contraceptive Initiative's mission, and I want to get involved with advocacy for male contraception and the grant-making process.
I joined the YAB because one of my good friends at the time was a member, and she began talking to me about research that the organization is doing, and I found the concept of male birth control to be really interesting, especially because it involves so many different kind of social trends and can vary depending on political climate. So it was kind of a really intersectional area of study that I wanted to learn more about.
Male contraception is important to me because I'm personally hoping to go into healthcare, and I would really like to be able to offer all my patients good contraceptive options regardless of their gender or sex that empower them to take charge and be engaged in their own sexual and reproductive life.
Male contraception is actually really important to me because I think that for decades, the idea of contraception and that responsibility has always been placed on women. So I think that more funding and more research and more awareness in male contraception will hopefully even out that burden. So it's not just a woman's responsibility, but it's both partners' responsibility.
There's a lot of contraceptive inequality with the way that we choose the family plan nowadays. And with novel contraceptive devices, people will be able to achieve their family planning goals and their reproductive health goals and improve the health outcomes for everyone involved.
I think male contraceptive is important for a variety of reasons. One, it gives more options. It also helps create a greater sense of security, and it gives men a better sense of agency over their own reproductive health.
Because it's an issue that affects the majority of the population, it's something that's not really spoken about, and people should have the right to demand better healthcare outcomes for themselves, and have that reproductive autonomy and access to appropriate healthcare, which is tailor-made to their needs.
Male contraception is important to me since it will enhance reproductive equity, it will limit occurrence of unplanned pregnancies, as well as be a counter solution to the side effects of hormonal contraception on females.
Male contraception is really important to me because I want to be able to empower men like my brother to feel in control of their reproductive health and to have access to resources that don't make them feel powerless in their sexual relationships. And so working with MCI, I really hope to advocate for reproductive autonomy for all, while simultaneously hoping to deconstruct some of those social stigmas that surround sexual and reproductive health.
Why I care about this field is because I'm a strong believer of equal rights for all genders, as well as reproductive autonomy for everyone, and that everyone, no matter their gender, should have access to equal contraception.
Male contraception is important to me because I come from a background where sexual health and reproductive autonomy aren't really talked about. And as I become more educated about scientific options that are out there and kind of just the concept of taking more ownership over your reproductive autonomy, I'd like to help other people from similar backgrounds do the same, kind of while learning more and navigating the area better myself.